Today here on All In with Brian Weatherford, we have a couple of guests in the studio with us, but they both represent the same company. And this company has been with us several times, and every time they come in, and actually we've been to their offices before to do more than a few segments here on the show, but we always enjoy talking to Shane. Shane, you'll meet here in just a sec. He's the head honcho there for Data Magic. But it amazes me, and you always hear about how technology is always changing. It changes show to show. Every time we have Shane Kimbrell or somebody from his staff with us, we learn something new every time. So I want to reintroduce our good friend of the show, Shane Kimbrell, Data Magic. Shane, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Glad you could make it back in here today. And I'm used to you being here in this chair, but you've been replaced.
That's exactly what we have here, Gary. He's my replacement. So.
No, now, come on.
Big shoes.
Yeah, very big shoes. So tell us about Gary. Introduce Gary to everybody.
Gary, we actually met on LinkedIn, and he just sent me a message saying, hey, if I knew of anybody hiring that was in the channel, then he needs looking for something in sales and management and that sort of thing. And I said, we're hiring.
Come see me.
I need help.
See, so that's kind of funny, because with the business you're in, being able to get very good employees that you'd never met without it on LinkedIn, social media. I mean, computers work.
Right.
Technology works for the right thing. So Gary, give us Gary Sullivan, by the way, is the man's name here. So what's your official duties now with this company?
I'm the director of sales. We're truly looking to kind of build the foundation. Shane's done a great job of doing that in the past, but he's got a lot of things on his plate. So he's looking for somebody to 100% focus on sales alone and marketing. So I want to bring the company into the channel. I want to bring the company into growth and account management, and get some salespeople on board and start to blow his numbers out for him.
You know what we like to say. My background is the theme park business, and I too was a sales marketing guy, but for theme parks. And we used to always like to say that marketing and sales conceive, so operations can go into labor. that was kind of our little thing. So that's what you're on board for. Prior to this, what were you doing? Similar industry, different places?
I've been on the carrier side. So, with the Sprints of the world,
okay,
with
sure,
AT&Ts of the world. So the opposite side of the spectrum, so to speak.
Right.
And getting into the channel in the last 2 years, 3 years, it's kind of opened my eyes to there's a whole different world to this technology. So having the opportunity to come on board with Shane and do this full time and not be, stuck in the middle between.
Well, there's a whole different world, but the two worlds, if you will, collide and need to work together.
They need each other. Yes.
And being able to have somebody that can speak the language from either side, kudos to you, Shane, for finding this guy on LinkedIn. Glad to have that. One thing that we've talked about before, and I want to touch on today. Talk to me about the Elks Lodge. Why that's such a big deal for you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about giving back. I mean, people, we talk all the time at the lodge with, people look at what do Elks do, right? We gave $4 million in high school scholarships last year alone.
$4 million in 1 year.
Yes, from the Elks National. We just literally last night voted in for a $9,000 specialized wheelchair for somebody that couldn't afford it. So it's good to give back.
It's great to give back, and so many people out there, there's plenty of people out there that do give back. Some of people, though, sadly, and I know them personally, get involved from a community standpoint simply to increase the business side of their business. And that if that happens, that's great. That's an afterthought. But just being able to get in and get involved with the community, good things happen. I think it's a karma deal as much as anything.
Yep. Yeah, and there's very little of that goes on at the lodge. And it's more you give to charity. You give your time, right? And so you get nothing in return other than a good feeling and like you said, good karma. So.
Well, and since we're on the subject, because we're real big on nonprofit groups and charities here on the show, so many people think that they have to be able to give money and write a big check to help, which helps in so many different ways. But it's not the only thing. You touched on it, time. Not all of us have money, can write the big check, but we all have time, to help out. Stuff. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, but before we forget, let's talk a little bit, remind people what it is, exactly what your business does.
So we're a managed service provider.
Right.
So what we do is we go in and help companies with outsourced help desk, but we also provide co-managed services. That means if you have an IT staff or someone that's controlling your network and infrastructure and that sort of thing, then we'll come in to help them for maybe projects and or just day to day, maybe give them some insight on how the industry's working outside of his little bubble that his or her bubble that they're in. So we'll provide them the same tools that we use and that sort of thing. So that's kind of where a growing market for us is helping an existing IT partner.
Well, one thing that I've learned, Shane, from talking to you numerous times is the fact that the people on your staff, guys and gals alike, are always educating themselves.
Absolutely.
To stay on top, because you can't just keep up. I mean, but you have the personality types, that's their thing. They want to know that stuff. They don't want somebody bringing up something they don't know, because then they're like, well, why didn't I know this?
Well, and if it were just the same things every single day,
that would get boring.
It would get boring for them. So they do like to get something that's a little bit of a challenge for them sometimes. So, and in this industry, things are changing constantly. So.
And the ones that keep up with the changes are the ones that are the successful ones.
Correct.
So Gary, on the sales side, the key thing to sales is belief in yourself, belief in your product. You've been a sales guy a long time. What do you think about the product you're selling now?
One of the biggest things that for me was meeting his staff, and you look at people that are sitting in a call center type environment and supporting customers, but these guys get it, and Shane's done a great job of how to manage folks and track it and make it fun. But these guys really, truly care. And if you believe in the product and you know that what I'm going to bring to the table to a customer is supported by what he's created, it's a win-win all over.
Well, and that's so important. It doesn't matter what widget, product, goods, services, whatever that you're selling. If you don't truly believe in your product, and by that, I mean, if I go sell somebody something and then it's not backed up, if people don't deliver what I sold, who's that going to make look bad?
Me.
You.
I only got one reputation.
Yeah. You got one reputation, you got one shot at it. Yep. But knowing going in that you've got a whole team behind you with data magic backing you up. And when you tell somebody, you're getting X, Y, Z, and here's what it's going to cost, and that's what they get, that's just a good feeling as a salesperson. Absolutely.
The thing that we complement each other on is the managed service piece of it was not a product. I mean, I understand it, right? But it's not truly a product that myself or my sales teams were selling on the carrier side. Well, I understand the carrier side backwards and forwards. Shane understands the managed service piece of it. So we're kind of in lockstep.
Yeah.
Right? So we can truly deliver a full package to a client or a customer that needs it. So
well, touch on the full package thing, Shane. Again, as a consumer, it's always, we always talk about relationship marketing on the show, whether it's with you or whoever we have. But as a consumer, you develop that relationship with someone, and it's nice to know that I've got this relationship, I trust this person, but I don't have to go over here and start all over again. Now with this guy on board, with his background, that's got to help tremendously getting a one-shop stop message out there.
It really does. I mean, we did provide the service where we would provide connectivity and VoIP and things like that, but it wasn't really something that I was focusing on, and it didn't seem like I was really excelling in that area. So it's nice to get somebody that knows the right questions to ask and what markets or what vendors that we're going to use when it comes to that kind of thing. So now we can kind of go out there, and I feel more comfortable saying that that's something that we're offering, and before it was kind of just a value added type thing, but now it's a major focus.
It's a focal point.
Right.
I think the one downside you might have coming up, you may have to enlarge.
Yes, we're already thinking
you may need more space, right?
Right. Yeah, we're going to have to relocate our conference room and make room for more. So.
Poor Shane, what a big problem. We're so successful now, I've got to add more space and maybe bring on more staff because this guy is bringing in so much business. But again, it's not just this guy bringing in the business, it's the whole company, right? But another part that's going to bring in the business is the referrals you get from the existing code, because we've talked about that before. You do get referrals.
Right.
So the more customers I have, the more opportunity for referrals. I mean, it's just the whole thing. This is exciting.
Right.
I can't wait for next time you guys come rolling in here on the door. Right. We'll get into more into your New England background, and I'll introduce you to the Dallas Cowboys.
Perfect. Brian, pleasure.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Always a treat to see
Always
you.
good to see
Thanks
you.
for bringing this guy in. See you soon. See you soon as well on All In. Bye-bye.